नमस्ते। हम हमारे नए एपिसोड के साथ हाजिर हैं। आज यहाँ पे अहमदाबाद में टीएमसी के एमपी डेरिक ओब्रायन आए हैं। वो यहाँ पे अहमदाबाद में मीटिंग कर रहे हैं। हम उनकी बात सुनेंगे। वो यहाँ पे एक मीटिंग में अपनी बात रखेंगे और यहाँ के मसीही क्रिश्चियन लोगों के साथ वार्तालाप करने वाले हैं। तो सुनते हैं वो क्या कह रहे हैं।
Father Cedric, thank you for giving me this opportunity to preside over this important meeting. We all know what is happening in our country, and I think most of us have been reading the newspapers, getting various videos about what is happening. And Gujarat is not spared as such. From time to time, on some occasions, certain things do happen in our own state. And my only fear is, see, we have been born democrat. We were born in democracy. Our families experienced that democracy pattern. Wherever we have lived, we have always been living in true democracy. And that is the crucial and core point that if if more and more norms and laws are enacted in the country, we as minorities will have no face. Minorities have to be protected precisely because our identity has to be always shown. It has to be preserved. It has to be taken care. And of late, over the last 20 years or so, we are facing that difficulty. We are losing our rights, for example, in our own schools. We are not able to, especially the right to the minority right is that we can appoint our principals and our teachers, whomever we want. That is very crucial for us to run our institution. But then that is not being taken care because they are trying to introduce somebody from the government side, a kind of a team, and they would take the decision. And so it's very vital for us to be able to express our freedom in the selection of the teachers, professors, or whatever. And because of that, for quite some time, Jepsi, through Father Tellers and all the bishops and superiors, we are fighting in the High Court. For a long time, it was a pending case. Judgment is now awaited. We pray that it may come in our favor so that many of our schools where we do not have government teachers, the institution is being paying for their salaries, which is a very heavy burden for us. And we hope that we win that case. The Indian constitution is one of the best constitutions in the world, and it has to be in one way or the other protected. And if it is protected, we have won our cause. Everything is there before us. These other incidentals and accidental things will keep on happening, but our constitution should be well protected. And even when I was challenged, as Father Cedric mentioned, I only harped on one point. I said, we are looking for such leaders who would protect the minorities, who take care of the Indian constitution, who would follow the Indian constitution. That is very important for us.
And I'm really happy. This is the first such meeting which we're doing in Ahmedabad. There will be a meeting like this in every state capital. And the message for the bishop's body, the message for the church leadership is listen to the suffering church. Just give me an example. I read about it in the newspaper. You were talking about celebrations. And I want to conclude today that we take questions. This is my thought. You mightn't agree with so many of the things I said, but we, as Christians, are often in the news for all the negative reasons, or what we call in media terms a negative narrative. Churches get burnt. News. Something happens in a Christian school. Some person is attacked. You're in the news. Friends, and we had such a beautiful meeting here before we started. This is also wonderful, where we sat with a lady, 10, 12 young, dynamic people. 50% of those people in the meeting were women. That committee will work. And yeah, so we need to be spreading messages for the positive reasons. Church get burned negative. What are these positive reasons? I only want to leave you with two. Only two. Put it out on WhatsApp. Or tell 15 other people. Here we go. We call institutions like where we are now minority institutions, right? Run by the Christian minority.
Yes.
Really? It is run by the Christian minority. 75% of the students in these institutions are not Christian. Wow! That's the service this community is doing. 75%, some will say 72%, some will say 77%, rounded off at 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 students who go to Christian institutions are Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Buddhist, and everybody else. I think this is a great piece of positive information. Out of 10 minority schools in India, out of every 10 minority schools in India, I mean, you forget everything else I've said today, I don't mind. But please don't forget these 2 points because I want more people to know about this. One is that 7 out of 75% of the boys and girls who are going to Christian run schools are non-Christian. Great. And the second one is out of every 10 minority institutions run in India, 10, 7 are run by the Christian community. You want to clap? Then clap. And I've got so many stats like this. You come to hospitals, you come to healthcare, you come to so many ways. But it's time to speak up. And I want to conclude by borrowing on Archbishop Thomas's words. It's very simple what he said, and I just want to repeat, Your Grace, what you said. It's about the Constitution. For anti-conversion, you don't need to look at anything else. The best book you can go back to is the Constitution of India.
Right.
The best book you can go back to is the Constitution of India. Now, the flip side to that is when you ask the question to Mr. Modi, you say, I didn't pass any of these bills. I didn't pass the bill in Chhattisgarh. I didn't pass the bill in Madhya Pradesh. Arey Baba, it's your government only, na? So I think if you keep the Constitution, there, and I say this with all humility, when I joined the Trinamool Congress 20 years ago, I didn't look at myself as, okay, I'm going there as a minority. No. Joined within the party, was given opportunities, was made one of those panel spokespersons, and then you grow and you grow and you grow and then you do your thing. So I just think it's a mindset. And I'm really happy. This is the first such meeting which we're doing in Ahmedabad. There will be a meeting like this in every state capital. And the message for the bishop's body, the message for the church leadership is listen to the suffering church. And my issue with the BJP is based, I'm going back to what the Archbishop said. My issue is the Constitution. My issue is the institutions. Parliament is an institution. Judiciary is an institution. Doesn't matter which government will come and go. But we need to protect these institutions. The CBI and the ED, 95-97% of those cases are against opposition politicians.
Yes.
I don't have to say anything. I'll say 2 words you'll get to know. Washing machine. You all understand? So we have to protect the institutions. I don't want to bore you with the parliament statistics, but there was a time 10 years ago where out of every 10 bills which were passed in parliament, 6 or 7 were scrutinized. That number is down to 1. 1. So we need to protect these institutions. And if you want a political answer from me, the only way this can happen is when you keep fighting for those institutions. After remaining silent for 20 years. This is my third term in parliament. I'm making it personal in the beginning because I don't want to talk about some high-fundu, far-away, ideological stuff which I can't often understand. So I've been in public service for 20 years. Why Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, chose me to be the parliamentary party leader when it makes absolutely no electoral sense for her. None at all.
Yes.
2% of the electorate in Bengal are Christian. What is a Christian or what is an MP who happens to be Christian sitting in the first row of parliament? That you'll have to ask Mamata Ji. So I've been doing my public service for now 2 decades, in my third term in parliament. But I have never, ever spoken about the church or how it is being run in the last 2 decades. In Bengal, Archbishop touched on a beautiful point today about the constitution. Now, what are we all fighting for? We're fighting for the Constitution of India.
Yes.
And the Constitution of India is more than a book in a library. It is a living, breathing document. So Nahum's is this Jewish bakery in Calcutta. And they make delicious Christmas cake run by a Jewish family. There are a few dozen, maybe a couple of hundred bakers there. Every single one of those bakers belong to one community.
Muslims.
They're all Muslim. And 1 week before Christmas, there are long queues outside Nahum's in Newmarket. There is Arjun there. There is Ram. There is Agni. There is Varun. There is Sunita. 90% of those customers are all Hindu. They're all Indian. That's the constitution. And I'm so happy that I come from Bengal, that I can stand up today in Gujarat and say this. They invite us every year for dinner. Nice, festive cheer. In the winter session of Parliament. And we go there for dinner. This year also we were invited. When I say we, means MPs who are from different political parties who have been elected, who happen to be Christian. Yeah, because that's the way it is. 3 of the 20 MPs are BJP and the rest 7, 8 from the Congress. I have a problem if the bishop's body invite or accept an invitation to Narendra Modi's house on Christmas Day for lunch.
Yes.
I have a problem with that. Bishop's body, and I'm going to say it. Why do I have a problem? I have no problem if you want to have Christmas lunch, and I can also send you some Nahum's Christmas cake. But the problem I have is that you have to also ask the tough questions. So this happened last year. Again this year on the 23rd of December. Another invitation. Festive cheer, I don't mind. But I've been reading beyond Indian politics, beyond the news, thanks to a few priests and nuns who've been sharing. I've been doing more than my share of reading of what the Holy Father has to say on a couple of issues. And my understanding of this is, who are we representing? Are we representing the suffering church? Or are we representing the dominant, triumphant church? As a layperson, I would like to believe, as a public servant, I would like to represent the suffering church. The suffering church cannot be in the business of photo opportunities around Christmas. The suffering church have to ask the Prime Minister of India 10 difficult questions at least. I've got 10. You may have 11, 12, 13. And here are they. Why did you attempt to change Christmas Day into Good Governance Day? Why? Cut the cake on the 23rd of December, but ask the question. 2. Why are you weaponizing FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act? 2, 3 years ago, you sent the FCRA notice to the missionaries of charity on Christmas Eve. And I'm from Calcutta and I'm very touchy about the missionaries of charity. Some sisters are here from the MCs.
Yes.
Okay, sister, love you. My third question, why have you totally ignored the people of Manipur? My fourth question, which the Archbishop raised. Article 14, 15, 25. Why are you violating these articles of which book? The Constitution of India, with the anti-conversion laws. The right to profess, propagate my religion. These are the hard questions which have to be answered. Oh. Why are you pushing the Waqf bill to divide minorities? My next question. When there is hate speech, when there are communal speeches, why don't you say these are the wrong things you're doing? Why have attacks on minority institutions been on the rise? Why are incidents of violence against Christians been on the rise? Why did the Indian National Human Rights Commission lose its United Nations accreditation twice in the last 9 years? And my last question. Do you remember? And I can say this with a broken heart, standing here in a Jesuit institution. But this is a question which the Prime Minister really has to answer. Do you remember? A straw, Parkinson's, Father Stan. So friends, this is the point. If elected representatives like me are going to remain silent, then we are complicit.
तो आपने देखा कि किस तरह से डेरिक ओब्रायन ने यहाँ पे वो बात कही है कि जो मसीह, जो कलीसिया है, उन्हें किस तरह से सफरिंग चर्च के साथ खड़े होने की ज़रूरत है। वो सारे शोषित लोग हैं, उनके साथ खड़े होने की ज़रूरत है और बोलने की ज़रूरत है। स्पीक अप ही सेड, उन्हें कहा स्पीक अप। और इसीलिए ये ज़रूरी है कि हर वो इंसान जो प्रभु यीशु मसीह में विश्वास करता है वो बोल सके, वो अपनी बात रखे। ज़रूरी नहीं है कि हर बात में आपके पास बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म हो, पर यह ज़रूरी है कि आप अपनी बात रख पाएँ। तो आपका क्या मानना है? डेफिनेटली आप हमारे प्रोग्राम पे वास्ते कमेंट्स करना, लाइक करना, शेयर करना, सब्सक्राइब करना। धन्यवाद।